I think you guys know Matt Williams, our pitching coach, Matt Pepin, our director of analytics. Dylan Askew finally came over to the real side, pitched at, where was it? South Carolina. Pitched last year. He's our director of pitching development. Connor Owings, you guys know Connor, and then obviously myself and Coach Schilling. We thought, you know, again, when the upstate person up in the upstate kind of dropped the ball, we thought that, you know, it'd be a great idea just to do a panel, you know, because, man, I've been at, you know, coaching conventions where, you know, you have questions and they do PowerPoints and, man, those slides look great job, but I have a question and you didn't answer it. So we thought that, you know, having a panel would help you guys, you know, ask questions, man. Get questions out. I know they printed off some questions. We don't necessarily need those, but I would hope that you guys feel comfortable enough that, man, we're sitting around. Unfortunately, we don't have a beer at 9:55. But act as if we're sitting around, man. We're hanging out. You know, we're just talking baseball. You know, we just want to talk baseball with you guys for the next hour or so, and you know, hopefully we can answer some questions and get some things out that may help you guys and us. Heck, man, we're here learning every single day too as well. So anything that you guys feel like you want to talk about, please bring it up.
Cox, question about your outfield drills. You said spin you're creating off the hat. Where are you placing the hat? What numbers you put them on? How do you get to that spin you want off of that? Those guys in a certain position.
Good question. A lot of that determines on our infield coach. Man, he's a ball hog. So he likes to get the, you know, take the infield. In a perfect world, we're going to try to position it back behind home plate. You know, the infielders have their things going on, but the majority of the time, you know, Bonnie, we'll work down the right field line, and we're working on some drills down the right field line, shooting towards center field. But during batting practice, the first group, as I was talking about, majority of the infielders will be base running, so there's no infielders at that time. So we'll have the machine. If we're in left field, we'll have the machine to the right side of the left-handed hitter's batter's box. If we're in right field, we'll go to the left side of the right-handed hitter's batter's box. I think yesterday when you were there, we got our field redone, so we have an electrical outlet behind the pitcher's mound. So we're actually out in the clay yesterday. So. Which kind of helps. But we try to create the best angle, you know, as the ball's coming off the bat as we can, for sure. Yes, sir.
Matt, one thing I really liked yesterday was during their early work, there was two pitchers that were just focused on PFP. Some were in the outfield doing their throwing stuff with you. I think you had pins going. Can you talk about how you organize and structure that early work like that?
Yeah, I mean, the throwing program for me is like, it's very individualized with each guy, all right? And we're going to try to spend time with guys no more than 4 in a group when we do our throwing. He talked about hogging the field. The hitters hog the field, all right? So I have to work around their schedule, but like we try to individualize and spend as much time as we can. I mean, there was 3-on-1 yesterday. It was myself, Coach Eskew, and our strength coach. He comes out there as much as possible to see our guys move also. But that part's really big. The PFP stuff, there's usually more than 2. I mean, that was a small group yesterday. But usually it's anywhere from about 4 to 8 up there in that PFP group. So, and it's a lot more individualized, as you can see.
Yeah.
How often do you throw off the slope? How many times do you get guys on the mound?
It'll vary from guy to guy. Flukey's going to throw once a week. I mean, he's going to throw Tuesday, and then he's going to pitch on Friday. So he gets off it twice as far as like throwing. Right. Now he's going to touch the mound a lot more than that. Like he's going to do some core velocity belt stuff. He's going to do what we call routine work. All right, so he's going to touch it probably 5 times a week.
What do you mean routine work?
Okay, so that's a really good question. I think this is a really good thing for guys that struggle with things mentally. All right, like the routine work, all it is you're trying to find your tempo, like game-like tempo. All right, you're trying to see positive visualization, so you're seeing yourself execute pitches. All right, let's say a guy that has a really good heater. All right, so he's going to see himself executing fastballs maybe at the top of the zone. He's going to see himself getting that swing and miss breaking ball down in the dirt, guys chasing it. All right, what I like to do is I like to tell our guys who the hitters are and what hit, right-handed, left-handed, what they try to do, the first 3 hitters that they're going to face. So Fluky would do it, if he's starting on Friday, he would do 1 inning on Thursday, and it would be all success, okay, in that 1 inning. All right, now we all know this game's not always rosy. All right, so before his bullpen on Tuesday, Monday he'll do 2 innings. All right, in those 2 innings, the first inning, he's going to see himself getting into a jam. So it may be like he walks the leadoff hitter. Then all of a sudden he gives up a base hit. He's got runners at first and second. They bunt the guy over. All right, 1 out, runners at second and third. He sees himself getting a big strikeout, and then maybe a ground ball or pop-up, whatever it may be, depending on the guy. All right. Then the second inning he comes back. He does it. It's 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 positive. You leave that mound session feeling really good about yourself. So it's more just about like getting yourself into the moment before it actually happens. The cool thing about the brain is the brain can't tell it the difference in what's real and what's not. So if you put yourself in that moment in the bullpen, when you actually get in that moment in the game, then you've already been there.
Is he going through dry throws with this, or is he just all mental?
No, he's going through dry throws. I mean, it's his delivery. All right, like, and here's the key. Like, you got to separate it from mechanical work. This isn't mechanical work at all. All right, we're not thinking about mechanics. And the cool thing about it is, the more you do it, your body starts to self-organize to what your delivery actually is, and your delivery starts to fall into place. Because we all know when you start talking about mechanics, you start thinking. All right, when you start thinking, you slow your delivery down. All right. We try to eliminate, we actually played a video for our guys yesterday, Paul Skeens and Scooble talking. They said they don't want to think. All right, it's great for some of our young guys because they want to go out there, they'll do it today. They'll go out there and they'll overthink situations, and all of a sudden they start moving slower, delivery doesn't fall into place, and they don't throw strikes. All right, we got to throw strikes. So hopefully that routine work that we do puts them in a better situation. That's interesting.
When they're doing that, guys, I'm not a pitching guy, but you look down in the bullpen, it looks like he's doing a real bullpen. Like he's catching the ball back from the catcher, like he's going through his entire routine. It's pretty cool to watch.
Matt, how do you battle the rhapsodic information? Their kids are constantly worried about their numbers, and hell, as a coach right now, I don't give a shit what their velocity is. I mean, I want them to throw hard, but I want them to execute pitch those strikes. But we've got to use the technology because obviously they want it. You got to get. How do you balance that between kids constantly worried about what their spin is, what their velocity is, versus dude, you didn't throw any damn strikes?
Yeah, I don't know that you're gonna like. You're growing up in a world where velo's king right now, and like you got to accept it, or like guys aren't going to be with you very long.
Absolutely.
But so I think we want guys to average 90 miles an hour at coastal. I mean that's our goal. That's the bottom line what we want from a pitcher. All right, so we do want guys to throw hard. All right, but we also want guys to throw strikes, and I think that goes back to like just our daily catch play, and like putting such an emphasis on daily catch play. Like if you can't have good catch, then I can't expect you to be good on the mound. If you're not good on the mound in a bullpen, you're probably not going to be good in the game situation. So like a lot of emphasis goes back to our daily catch play, and like can you throw the ball in the chest? I mean, can we play games and compete against each other in 21? I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys played 21, two in the one in the chest, 2 in the head. I mean, just play games like that with guys and have them compete, and I think it gets better once they get to the mound. But I mean, velo is key. That's what it is.
Yes, sir.
On your BP sessions, do you put pressure on the hitters while you're doing that, or do you?
So we'll do, the first round is always a situational round. So there is a little pressure on them there, like the hit and run, let's get the ball on the ground. You know, if we're hitting behind the runner, man on second, nobody out, you know, they gotta execute that ball behind the runner. So yeah, in that there is. And then again, we have an advantage with the TrackMan information. We put it on our scoreboard. So there are days where we'll do 10 to 30 BP, and that is we want their launch angle off the bat to be between 10 and 30 degrees. Okay, so a lot of times we'll do this in the early work. And it's, hey, you get in there, you're swinging, and as long as you hit it between 10 and 30 degrees, you keep going, right? But if your second swing, you hit a crappy grounder, or you hit it 38-degree launch angle, you're out, next guy gets in, and you just keep cycling through. So trying to have some sort of restrictions with accountability to it during your BP, I think is critical. Another one that we do that you guys can do is we'll do what we call over-under BP, and that is they have to hit the ball over the fungo tarp, so they got to hit it out a little bit. If it's a ground ball, it just can't hit the fungo tarp. It's got to be out, so they got to hit it over the fungo tarp, but under the crossbar of your BP tarp. And if guys get good at that, that helps them. So sometimes we'll have over-under BP, and if you fail on one of those, you get out and you lose swings. So, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
One thing I try to do is their early work. And as a high school coach, I really don't have a chance to get out on the field like y'all do from a time constraint. But our cage work typically is their time to work on their swing and the mechanics and their routine. And then when we get them on the field, it's more game-like situational. It looked like yesterday that was a lot what was going on. Can you talk about how y'all design your early work BP versus your in-game BP sessions?
See how you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I think, yesterday you got to see us do last ball live BP is what we call it, where, we're taking our normal BP rounds, but we're playing the last ball live, especially with the roster change and trying to get guys prepared for the season. We won't want to put too much pressure on our arms and throw more than they're ready for. So being able to get our position guys playing a live ball and running the bases live is something that we like to do last ball live for. And like you kind of mentioned, we kind of like to do it kind of a little more opposite, I would say. Using the cage as a controlled environment to put some pressure and challenge our guys and make it harder, right? Make it harder than it was going to be in a game. And like you said, I think it's more important with being on the field, allowing those guys to get some comfortability and take the challenge and the swing that they're working on in the cage and being able to put it into work on the field. And I think that's kind of the biggest step with some programs. I used to give Coach Burnett such a hard time. He wanted to do BP as fast as he could, right? I think BP is such an on-field advantage to let infielders and outfielders see live balls and allow guys to see their swing on the field. Obviously, a lot of you aren't going to be fortunate enough to put TrackMan on the board, but being able to see guys see their ball flight and understand that maybe their ball flight is too high, or in our case, we have some guys that we think they hit the ball too low. So getting them to get out on the field and stuff like that, and seeing that stuff live and see ball flight, I think is very important. But we like to do a lot more controlled, pressure situation and game stuff in the cage with Coach Schilling. Really drives our approach and stuff like that, taking that guys through at bats off of, could be the jugs fastball, or, we're fortunate enough to have an eye pitch where we can simulate multiple pitches and stuff like that. And really, the biggest thing that I think can help with the cage work and game-like stuff is making sure guys are swinging at strikes. A lot of times it's, I only got so many bullets, just get up there and swing. If that's how we're coaching, and then get in a game and we get frustrated when guys are swinging out of the zone, then it's a double standard, right? So I think the biggest thing that we like to focus on when our work is controlling the strike zone, swinging at strikes, and that's the biggest advantage that can help them in simple ways.
Can you describe some of the stuff y'all do in the cage to accomplish that?
Yeah, absolutely. The way that we kind of have our normal cage set up, we're fortunate to have one of the best hitting facilities in the country with a lot of room, a lot of different options with nets that go up and down and stuff like that. But the way that we like to design the cage is we usually have 1 or 2 stations that are dedicated to a mechanical or a feel or something like that, right? Whether we believe in a lot of oppo work, really working on creating some barrel depth and having good posture and direction through the baseball. I think an oppo flip or something like that is the easiest way to tell if someone has can get the ball behind the bat or like barrel behind the baseball and have good direction through the ball, is instant feedback. If they're hooking the ball or slicing the ball, their barrel's not getting square contact. And then, you know, on the opposite side of that, we always hit some form of breaking ball, some form of velo. You know, everything that we do pretty much is going to be from a machine, just because it's the simplest way to replicate what you're going to see in a game. And sometimes early in the fall, we're fortunate to have a lot of time. We like to go kind of build-ups is how I would describe it. You know, learning how to take an A swing from the tee to a flip to maybe into a BP fastball off a mini hack. You know, being able to trust the swing and what they're working on, because a lot of times, you know, we're working on a swing change or a mechanical thing, and then we throw them straight on velo and they abort what they're working on and go back to comfortability just to make contact. So getting them to trust what they're doing and stuff like that, and then, you know, slide that to Coach Schilling with a lot of, you know, driving our approach and taking those guys through at bats and stuff.
So, you know, with that, it's funny, but when I was growing up, when you were growing up, it was pound the knees, you know, get the ball down in the zone, pound the knees. And now there's a lot of ride and carry on the ball. So now you're seeing a lot of pitchers are pitching up now, right? So we'll do work in there days where we're working top of the zone with some ride, which we can create on the machines. So we'll do that. Okay, we'll work on that. And then other days we'll work on, all right, it's a sinker baller today, so we will work the ball down zone. And then, you know, we have that high pitch machine where I can switch from fastball to slider if I want to. So that particular day, when the guys come to me, it'll be, hey, we got a right-hander, 90 with a pretty good slider, okay? And we'll give them a little scouting report. Hey, this guy, you know, his go-to is an elevated fastball. If that doesn't work, he wants you to chase the slider in the dirt. And so it's throwing, you know, a 90-mile-an-hour fastball with an 82-mile-an-hour slider, and I'm calling the pitches back there and taking on batters through the at-bat. But we always put a situation. Okay, so then it might just be, hey, you're leading off the inning. Okay, it might be man at second, nobody out. It might be, you know, man at third, infield in. Always some type of situation that they're trying to accomplish. And in the fall, you guys that were here last year, we do a lot with swing decisions. So in the fall, we did like 2 weeks where when they came to my page, I was charting their swing decisions off the page. And we have a kid named Jordan Taylor who came to us from Stetson. And the kid hit 330 last year and had an on-base percentage of 380. He was 22 for 22 stealing bases. So 330 average, 380 on base. Walker Mitchell, on the other hand, hit like 275, but had a 465 on base. Well, what's the difference is Walker walks and gets hit by pitches. He has very good swing decisions. This kid has great hitting ability and awful swing decisions. And that's kind of how we got him. Okay, we recruited him and sat down and said, you run a 6'4", 60, you got a cannon for an arm, your father played in the NBA, you're tall, your body's incredible, and you hit rockets. Why weren't you drafted? Well, here you go, this is why. And so his goal is to improve his swing decisions, increase his on-base percentage. So last season, what was it, Pep? He was 37% chase rate, and then through our fall and early spring, he's 23. So he's significantly decreased his chase out of the zone, which is going to be a win for us. And that a lot of that's just done by getting him to buy into it and practicing. Yes.
What percentage do you guys strive for good swing decisions, and do you track situational hitting
Yes.
during BP?
We track everything. Go ahead, Pat, I'll let you take that one.
Yeah, honestly, in batting practice, I don't know if they're doing something else on the field, but for what we provide to the players, not as much swing decision, but we do provide all the metrics possible during BP. So even stuff, you don't need a TrackMan to do all this stuff, but line drive percentage, our goal is 10 to 30. So we're looking for that low line drive, or the low fly ball, high line drive, and we provide it to our guys daily, and we meet as a coaching staff and try and get everyone inside that range, because if you're popping balls up and hitting choppers in BP, it's not going to translate to the game at all. And then in game, there's a bunch of different metrics and measures we use, but we'd like to chase at less than 20% of pitches out of the zone. So one motto we've kind of embraced a little more this year is hit strikes hard. Obviously, we want to, both on the pitching side and hitting side, we want to dominate inside the strike zone. If you dominate in the strike zone, when the ball's out of the strike zone, good things happen. That's when, on the pitching side, we get chases, and on the hitting side, we take our walks.
Man, how much of that swing decision are you using for pitch calling? Do you get that same information for opponents? Are y'all generating that information? These guys have whatever chase rate. How much of that in your pitch calling with your pitchers going in? Hey, listen, we don't have to throw a strike to this guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I necessarily talk to individual pitchers about that kind of stuff, but like we do have that information as a staff, and we are able to use it. I mean, our goal as a pitching staff is to throw the ball honestly in the middle of the plate and attack the zone. I mean, we talk about it all the time, attack the plate, attack the plate. And not every pitch is going to be in the middle of the plate, so we will get some chase, but our goal is to be able to have swing and miss stuff in the zones.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna make a statement, and then I'm gonna finish it with a question. Last year it was great to watch you guys on TV. I've known Matt for 20 plus years. I coached Walker when he was 15, coached against him when they come to my tournament. Really cool as a high school baseball coach to have a connection. And you go back to when South Carolina was playing and they had Wingo and Rolf and guys that like we coached against that we knew. It's like a hometown feel. So for the first time in my 28 years last year, I received 0 phone calls from the college coach by any of my players. For the first time in my entire career. Not one. I got some pro guys. So I had Harrington, people wanted to talk to me about him. So my question is, all these kids that play for us think they're college baseball players. Their parents think they're the next Derek Jeter. So what do we tell them to, I guess, ease the burden, so to speak? Like, guys, it's a different world. And I tell them, I said, if I was the pitching, I got to win. Like, that's how I pay my mortgage. Like, 'cause we don't pay our mortgage coaching high school baseball. We do it by teaching. Well, if you don't win, you got to find a job. So I tell them all the time, hey, it's a different world than it was just, I don't know, 8 years ago, whenever it started.
Two
So
years.
what are you guys looking for if you're going to actually try to recruit a high school player, knowing that your roster is going to consist of grown men? Yeah. So I mean, what do we tell them to keep their spirits up? That hey, you could be playing at Coastal someday. It might just not be as an 18-year-old. I mean, I'm not trying to be.
I couldn't agree with you more.
How many freshmen y'all bring in this year? How many freshmen?
We actually have 11.
That's a lot, that's a lot.
We actually have 11 and 26.
We have eight in this class.
8 in this class. We have 11 coming in 26.
We had 10.
Yeah, we have 10.
What do they use to take? What are the freshman numbers?
Pretty similar.
Y'all always,
Pretty similar.
y'all bring guys.
Yeah, I think Coach Nall is big on, how do we win at Coastal? Well, we got Coastal guys. We win and we call it the Coastal way. So I think we will never get away. We will never get away from recruiting high school players. I agree with you 100%. The caliber of high school player has changed. I think we're recruiting an elite type of guy because if we don't get him, we'll just go to a portal. For us, I think the portal is more to fill a need. We had a big left-hander out of New Jersey that got drafted, extremely high, ends up going in the draft. Or we need to go in the portal and find somebody to replace him. To answer your question, man, I think And I'm not saying this because, you know, I'll be honest, out of the 6 guys, I love money. Out of the 6 guys up here, but please understand, like, I'm not saying this for you to send your guys to our camps and things like that. I think you encourage the guys that you feel like can play at a high level that may have not been recruited to go and try to get in front of those guys' faces. Because recruiting has changed. We don't necessarily go into as many high school games now because of the portal. And I say we, I mean college baseball in general. You know, I mean some teams are strictly portal, like they're going strictly portal because the word on the street now, you got to be old to win. You know, so you're in a tough spot, man. You're in a tough spot. I mean, I think you kind of encourage them to come to those prospect camps so that we can be the bad guy and go, man, you got to get better at this, and this. Pepin and CO have started doing like legit evaluations. You know, so the guys at our camps come, they get legit evaluations like, hey man, like, we like you, you're a strike thrower, you throw 87, and it's just not good enough for us right now. You know, so I do think there is a place for guys to play. Like, I'm not saying that. And I can't even tell you we're recruiting more junior college. That's not true either. It's basically the same. You know, we're going after a high caliber player. If we don't get them, we're not upset anymore. Like, we're okay with it. You know, we're just going to go and we'll get the guy that's going to leave Texas next year that only got 30 at-bats. So I don't know if that answers your question. I would highly encourage them to, you know, understand that everybody can't play at South Carolina. Everybody's not going to play at Clemson, man. You got to, you know, look at other schools.
So I would throw a couple of other things to all of us, and to Coach's point, it hasn't changed. I mean, since COVID, the changes are like every year, right? And it was like, okay, NIL is legal. Everybody was rushing to develop a collective so we could pay players. Well, now they approved the profit sharing, so the schools can just pay the guy now. And so the collectives are kind of fading away a little bit. And the roster was 40, now the roster's down to 34. Like, this stuff is changing like so rapidly. And then the portal went. So it's crazy how fast it is changing, and we're adjusting. And I feel bad for players, period, because they're adjusting. But the one thing I will tell you, and to me, this is the biggest thing, is you have to get in your head, every place is a junior college. Coastal's a junior college, Clemson's a junior college, Wake Forest is a junior. We're all junior college. Because a kid can leave and play right away. So a kid can go to Wingate for 2 years, put up really good numbers, throw his name in the portal. And guess what? At Coastal Carolina, that guy down there, Pepin, he's monitoring the portal 24/7. Williams is looking at the portal. Ox is looking at the portal. Owings is looking at the portal. I look at the portal. SQ looks at the portal. We got 7 guys on staff that are hunting the portal, right? So your kids might get a little frustrated they're not getting recruited as heavily out of high school, and they're kids that maybe in the past were. But now, like, one of the best pitchers in the Sun Belt last year, Billy Oldham. What school was he from?
Eastern Connecticut State.
Eastern Connecticut State. The kid was unbelievable for Southern Miss, like back-to-back super regionals. Like, just go, find a place you can play, and put up some numbers. And if you go in the portal, everybody's going to look at you. So you just kind of got to change the mentality. Like, hey, man, like Liam Doyle, the kid from Tennessee, he was a freshman at Coastal. Started for us on Friday nights, pitched game 1 in the regionals when we were number 9 in the country, right? He left us, went to Ole Miss, left Ole Miss, went to Tennessee. Like, boop, boop, boop. Like, it's so fluid up and down. So get your kids to understand if they don't get exactly what they want, it's okay. You don't have to go to D1. Go to Newberry, go to Coach, go there. Put numbers up, do well, go in the portal, you know. Or, better yet, you're happy as hell where you're at, you're playing every day, you're having a great experience, you got a girlfriend, freaking just stay there, enjoy your career. Life.
Because of that now, with the time is not having very long, there's no production, no potential. Some of you guys are in the portal, you know what your production is going versus the guy, hey, this guy's up and down, why do you look for anything to this place?
100%. Yep. 100%. You know, in the back of the day, man, if he threw 95, you take him. Now you know he don't throw strikes.
I think from a pitching side, we look at it as like, can we develop this guy? Like Pep and I'll get together and we'll talk like, hey, we think this guy can fit in here with what we do. So I think it's more like individualized on that side of things. Like, guy might throw hard and we might pass on him for the guy that throws 3 mile an hour slower, but we feel like we can work with that guy and get him to that 95.
I mean, the other thing is walk-ons are gone. Like, it's a hard 34. So there's no more like, oh, let's bring him in and let's, you know, redshirt him for a year. He'll get back. Like, so that's kind of hurt the high school guy too. You know, that's it.
That guy right there. Hold on. That guy right there, coming around.
We're seeing a large influx of like these guys that bounce around the minors and come back. It's like, hey, we're advisors now. So we're charging $5 to $7 grand to get you recruited. How much stock do you put in these guys?
Very, very little. Very little. I mean, for us, recruiting is a lot of networking too, and who you trust. There's some that we know and that we've grown up with and known for a long time. We're going to have a little more trust in those guys, you know. And we get inundated with, you know, oh, I'm an advisor or I'm this. It's the same as Perfect Game and the PBR rankings and all that. I don't know if you guys saw. Who talked about Signetti talked about that or Saban something recently. You know, it made me think of us. I'm not recruiting a kid because he's number 2 shortstop in the state. Like, we don't do that here. You know, we're going to go watch him, and if he plays the right way and does the things that we see that, you know, that the coastal way, and we feel like it'd be good here, then we'll put the clamps on him. But, you know, does the Perfect Game and PBR and the advisors and all that help? It doesn't hurt. You know, it doesn't hurt. I can't sit here and tell you like, oh man, he's, you know, getting an advisor, I'm not going to talk to him. Like, and it doesn't hurt, but I'm not just going to recruit that kid because I get a call from an ex-minor leaguer who's, you know, bored and just created an agency.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
In the portal, I know you mentioned that y'all look at it all the time. How much value, or how do you know if that player fits with you guys? Talk about, you know, like, you know, way he works, attitude, whatever.
Absolutely. I joke at Coach Snow all the time. He's like the CIA. I mean, he's going to call everybody, every scout, every coach this kid's ever known. And if we don't, he's going to grill us on it. So we're trying to do our homework as best as we can. Now, again, like, there's people out there, oh, great kid, oh, great kid, oh, great kid. And then he comes like, not so great. You know, so we're trying to do the best we can behind the scenes with, as you know, talking to his high school coach, talking to his travel coach. If there's a connection, hopefully that, you know, someone knows the family, we'll get that kid on campus and, you know, we'll have a feel. We try to get him to spend time with our players. And we'll talk to some of our older guys like, hey, what did you think of CO, man? You feel like you'll fit in here. And unfortunately, there's times where our guys will go, man, he didn't really go. And we'll pass. You know, if he's a good player, we're going to pass. I think that's what makes us great, man. I think that's what sets Coastal apart from other places. But that is difficult, especially in the portal, because you see the numbers, you see the success, you know this guy can, you know, has the potential and the track record to help us be better immediately, but he doesn't fit. That's hard. Yes, sir.
With the 34, two-part question, can you how do you do your roster construction with those limited numbers? And then 2, does that place any more value on the two-way guy? As in pitcher or hitter?
Extremely. Two-way guy, extremely. If they can do it, it's tough. You know, we have a kid right now who is an exceptional hitter and has an exceptional arm, but the workload, you know, the workload on one position player alone, pitcher alone, you know, when they get to us, oh my gosh, I got to lift, I got to get up and go to school on my own, you know, it starts to wear them down. So if a guy can do it, absolutely is a no-brainer for us with 34 man. you know, as far as roster construction, it's year to year. I think it's slowed down for us. Like right now, we only have 3 27s because we're unsure of what we need. Unfortunately, because of the portal, you know, like who's staying, who's not. It's kind of crazy. It's sad, honestly, because, you know, we all talk about loyalty and, you know, that's a big deal for us. But how can you fault a kid who doesn't get a lot of playing time and he's going to get 25,000? You know, so I think we all got to grow with it. It's not changing, guys. Like I think we got to accept it and we got to figure out ways to continue to be successful. But as far as like constructing it, you know, you can kind of tell, all right, Cam Flukey's gone. You know, God forbid something happened, knock on wood, but like this guy's going to be gone. So we have planned, you know, okay, well, what, you know, freshman or are we going to have to get in a portal to replace him, or is there a high school guy that we're going to go see in the spring that we've already committed? Has he made a jump? You know, so as far as like pre-planning and going, all right, we're going to bring 8 guys in every year, I think that's gone. You know, but you do have some type of feel with guys that are going to, you know, hopefully get drafted or should. And then you get lucky and sometimes they come back, man, and they're even better. So I don't think that I can sit here and tell you like every year we're going to get 8 high school guys. But that's kind of our plan and our goal is to try to get 7 to 8 every year. And then you know, if you have to fill a need with the portal guy, we will.
What about pitchers versus position players? Like how many do y'all want to carry out of your 34?
Right now we're 17 to 17. You know, it's kind of worked out perfectly. It's unreal. But I would say probably pretty similar. You know, it kind of hurts, especially, I think it hurts both sides because we don't get to scrimmage as much. We don't get live game action as much. I personally like it because we don't have 25 hitters to work with. Same as I think Matt would tell you, like, man, you got 25 pitchers to work with. It's too much. You know, it's too many. So I personally like it. I think it does hurt us a little bit when, you know, we got a student manager who's out in center field, but hey man, he gets to have fun and do it. Actually, his OP's pretty good. You know, so but I personally like the roster limitations because it lets us be more hands-on with our guys.
I mean, I think the only frustrating thing is like we hadn't been able to get as many bats because of the arms. Yeah, limited amount of arms.
And then injuries just crush you, right?
Yeah, they do. I mean, or if you got a guy down, like Fluke didn't throw a fall. So, I mean, he didn't pitch, and there's a bats right there because he probably would have thrown, I don't know, 10, 12 innings in a normal fall.
Coach Nall is the one who gets frustrated with it, I think, the most. You know, he wants to let's play 9 innings every day. You know, but we just, you know, in order for us to stay healthy and be great in June, you know, we just have to take it slower.
How much tampering? I mean, hell, there's tampering. It's happening in high school. We got kids in high school now jumping damn school to school. And tampering happening, kids recruiting kids. How much tampering? Like, I'm amazed and glad y'all hung on to Fluke. I thought people were throwing him.
It's happening bad. It's bad. And as you know, Bonnie, all you guys, man, some guys are worse than others. Some guys don't believe in it and don't do it. Some guys will tell you, if I don't do it, I'm gonna get fired. You know, that's the excuse they use. We're baseball, man. Like, I think we all love this game because of the loyalty and the things that we've done in the past. It's been different than football and basketball, and we're slowly going towards that, and it's sad, man.
Do they come and tell you
No.
they're going into the portal, or you just kind of wake up one morning and go, huh?
It depends. I mean, you may get a call from your compliance office telling you that somebody went in the portal, but no.
They don't have to tell you.
They don't have to.
After they told you they were coming back.
Yeah.
You could have that.
Yes, sir.
In season, your strength program for your players, is it different from pitchers in the infield?
Yes, sir,
Can you
absolutely.
briefly talk about that?
And I feel like we have probably the best strength and conditioning coach in the country. I'll leave with that, Mike Thompson. I think he spoke to some high school coaches and
Strength coaches.
Yeah. So, but we do. We all have different. It's very, very personalized. We're fortunate enough that we have our weight room right in our stadium. I think it's more personalized probably for the pitching just because of their arm and health and things like that. But yeah, it definitely is very structured, very individualized, you know, from every position. We've even started diving into more that the pitching side started before we did, but now we're starting to dive in to more of the body and what they can do. We get caught in asking them, man, we ask these kids, can you do X, Y, Z? They're trying their butts off, but they can't do it. We're scratching our head why. Our strength and conditioning coach is doing more tests on the body to see what he can do on his end to help guys maybe feel their rear hip or be able to hold their back heel down a little longer. So it's all starting to become hand in hand with us, you know, what we're trying to do, especially on the mound and with the hitters.
Yes.
For you, transitioning into year one for you, you got the staff, obviously, I don't know how many guys you got to bring in or whatever. Can you talk to us about what you implemented? Obviously, you implemented your philosophy, but you know, you turn a pitching staff around and ends up being one of the best in the country. You know, guys probably was still the team before. Just can you talk about some things you implemented from the day-to-day ops to kind of, you know, be successful?
Yeah, I mean, I think first thing was it was a good bunch of dudes. I mean, like, they were a great bunch of dudes that bought in immediately. So it takes that. And then he just mentioned our strength coach. Our strength coach is tremendous. I work with a great team. We got Pepin here, our analytics guy, and also our athletic trainer, Tanner Costa. All right, like, and Dylan Eskew here. Like, it's a team of 5 people, and we communicate all the time. We meet all the time with our pitchers. But I think the biggest thing was just emphasizing throwing programs. I mean, like, making sure catch was good. Like, how good can catch be? How good can your plyos be? Because I'm sure you guys watch your guys do plyos or whatever. Like, there's a right way to do plyos and there's a wrong way to do plyos. And I think guys show up a lot of times doing plyos not in a very good way, not conducive to throw strikes. All right, you'll get guys that are very close to the wall, and then they're coming across, throwing the ball in the middle of their body or the other side. We had some of that. All right, and it was about getting them to the right spot on the wall, and all of a sudden they're getting behind the ball better. All right, and when they started getting behind the ball better, their ball quality became better. When their ball quality became better, they started becoming more confident in what they were doing. And once they did that, things continued to just get better throughout the year. So, I mean, I think it was just establishing what we wanted and just making it happen day to day.
So with the limited numbers of the scholarships now, that changed the athletic performance side of things as far as what they do in the weight room, due to injury prevention a little bit more, or obviously you don't have the depth. So I'm just curious, like from the strength side of things, if you had to change it up a little bit, maybe not so much of the lifting, to more of a dynamic range of motion and things like that. Just from an injury side of things, if you lose an injury now with limited scholarships, now it really hurts.
I think for us, I don't think that side changed. I think it's more of our practice and our plan. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think we as coaches have become more aware of how our guys feel and their bodies, and are we asking them to do too much, or, you know, I think that's where most of our injuries come from. Like, we have some guys right now that got some nagging things, you know, but I personally feel like as they went home from Christmas break, they came back, they went home from Christmas break, they thought they were working hard, they came back, we went back to what we were doing, and they strained a couple things. So I don't think it's as much in the weight room as much more accountability on us being aware of our players, how they feel, and, you know, what we're doing.
Yeah, I'll mention too, I think more so it might benefit the weight room more. You know, Coach Williams mentioned some guys being down and stuff. You know, the demand on the field from playing, you know, 9 to 12 innings a couple times a week isn't there anymore with having 40-something guys. So being able to get them in the weight room more and have more of an actual off season to build strength rather than demand so much on the field has helped. And I think Ox mentioned it very well. You know, Coach Nall has always been a cage on fire guy, and we still believe in hard work and stuff like that. And you know, I was the kind of guy that I was going to hit before practice, I was going to hit at night. You know, and we've kind of moved away from that because we are asking so much with a smaller group of guys. You know, we hit early on the field and in the cage, and we hit during practice. So trying to get guys to take care of their body and know that availability is their best quality right now, and knowing that, you know, heck man, like, you know, it's hard to play. The demand and the stuff that we do is different. So if you're missing time because you're banged up, you're falling behind.
Anything else?
Coach Hucks, I'll go back to your two-way question a minute ago. We have a kid that's a freshman right now, Jackson Weiner from Bishop England. He came in to do both. the body wasn't in the best shape. He struggled body-wise, so we had to shut him down with a little bit of a back issue. He's going to pitch this spring, and then we're going to send him out this summer. The body's in better shape. It'll continue to get in better shape throughout the spring. Send him out this summer, no pitching, just hitting. And he'll come back next fall, and hopefully he can do both for us. Because it's legit power on both sides of the ball.
I mean, it's hard on us. I mean, we've got two infielders that are pitchers for us, and we're doing an interspot the other day, and then they're already tender.
Yeah.
And then we demand our infielders make lots of throws because you've got to be able to make lots of throws in practice. So it's a fine line between how do I modify their amount of throws they make as an infielder versus their pin work and all that other stuff. So it's a challenging deal.
And I'll go back to your question about high school, and obviously it's changed and stuff like that. You know, I was a really late bloomer. I came to camp and was a senior guy that got to walk on, you know, and obviously worked out for me. But, you know, when I was still playing, I'd live at home and work out in Gilbert with those guys there, and I got that question a lot about, you know, I want to go here, I want to go there, like, what do I need to do? And the biggest thing is understanding and being realistic with the kid. I remember there was a kid, he's going to Florida now, but he used to ask me, said, you know, he wanted to go to Clemson. That was his dream school. I said, pull up their roster right now. Look at all the strength and the size of every freshman in that class. He's 60 pounds shy of those guys. You know, like, there's a different standard. If you can't look yourself in the mirror and say I'm a comparable player, then how can you expect to go to that school? So being realistic with these guys, and that's the one thing that we've done, Pep and I, with the evaluations, you know, telling kids that, hey man, like, you're 6'1", great frame, but you're 135 pounds. Like, you're behind. You need to get in the weight room, you need to have strength, you need to have speed. And that's one of the cool things that Pep has done with our camps is everyone that comes to one of our camps, they get a packet of the average coastal player. Average 60 time, average exit velocity, average catcher throw, infield throw, everything by position. So you're getting your metrics we send out, 60s, velos, everything like that after every camp. You're getting what you performed in front of us as compared to an average coastal player. That way, right away, you know, okay, you know, I ran a 7.4, their average infielders is 6'8". I have to get better. I have to get better.
Connor, you obviously played at Coastal, and I've known these guys, and I thought that Coastal Carolina has done the best job of developing players. And people ask us all the time, brag on y'all. Somebody tell me, players that y'all get from other schools, do they say, man, we can do a lot more here than we were doing there?
I can tell you that. I mean, that's attention to detail. I mean, the attention to detail that starts with Coach Schnall is second to none. I mean, I've been doing this now 21 years, and like I can tell you, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and I can lean into that too. You know, I was fortunate to where I played in a high school program where that was a standard too. You know, Coach Fournette being able to execute and play at a high level with something, and I was fortunate I had two older brothers that played high level baseball too. So I had an example in front of me of what it looked like. But I think that's something too with, you know, Coach Oxendine and, you know, being our recruiting coordinator, stuff like that. We don't want to shy away from the high school kid because we do trust our system. We do trust that if you come to us and you're in our system for multiple years, you're going to be a better player. And I just think it goes back to, like Coach Williams said, the attention to detail and the standard. And Coach Crosscroft asked us last night about getting guys more competitive and catch play and stuff like that. And I think that's more of an expectation, right? Like when our pitchers go out with Coach Williams and Pep and SQ, they know that the catch quality and standard is up here, right? They're not going to get away with just going through the motions that day. Same thing when they go to the cage with Coach Schilling. Like the expectation of quality work, making right decisions, stuff like that is there, and that's going to pour over onto you know, everyday details on the field.
Yes, sir.
Just watching you guys as started already, what you guys do, you do a really good job. But one of the things I want to ask you is, a lot of times you have your pitcher, your infield, your outfield. How do you bring it all together as one? I mean, what do y'all do? Y'all do.
But I think that's one of Coach Schnall's biggest attributes, man. He is amazing. I mean, there'll be, I don't know if it's legal, the best I can talk about it, but Friday nights, you know, in the fall, we have Saturday, Sunday off. He's having pizza delivered to XYZ house. Everybody's meeting over there. He does a tremendous job on I say forcing, but really encouraging our guys to hang out together off the field. And then, you know, our facility, I don't know if you guys have had an opportunity to, I want you guys, number one, to know, man, everybody is welcome. There's been several high schools that have attended our practices and, you know, been on a tour of our facility. And I don't want to say for me, but I think we, especially in the recruiting part, it helps us when you're able to go, nah, man, their facility is better than theirs. You know, no, man, what they do is better than them. You know, that helps us, you know, when you guys are, you know, up to par on what we have to offer as well. That's another reason why we're, you know, so excited about being able to sit here and share what we have, so that you guys can take that back to your players as well. You know, but we're fortunate with our facility, it's their home away from home. You know, we have, now they got poker tables, they got dartboards, they got pool tables, ping pong. So they're competing all the time within, again, their home away from home. Our field is kind of the hub, per se. You know, if you park in the parking lot in order to get to class, you have to go by our stadium, depending on what, you know, what class you go to. So our guys at any point in the day, if you walk into our stadium, you're going to have some guys in our stadium, in the locker room, in the kitchen. They're always hanging out. So you know, I think, again, Coach Schnall does a tremendous job with getting them together off the field, and then fortunately the way our stadium is built, you know, it kind of forces them to be together as well, and we're there a lot.
Yeah, well, and on top of that, you guys saw PFP yesterday, okay? I was running PFP, I'm the infield coach, right? So there's, depending on the numbers we have, if we have 12 guys doing PFP that day, Coach Schnall is with a group, I'm with a group, Coach Ox is with a group, and Matt is kind of roving, overseeing if he's not working with guys on their catch plan. So it gives us a chance to coach the pitchers, and they start hearing us chirp at them, same chirps our position guys are getting. So they kind of, you know, they kind of get the standard that Coach Schnall wants, and you know, we all fall into line with that. So I think that things like that help us as well. And to be honest with you, Coach Williams makes comments and will talk to our hitters from time to time about maybe something he sees from a pitcher standpoint, right? You know, he's the dark side. So you know, he might say, "That's what I'm seeing," and they're going to attack you this way. So it's, you know, I feel like we've done a very good job being on the same page. We try to do a good job keeping our players. Guys, I'll finish with one thing. I'll wrap this up with one thing for you guys. We got a question. Go ahead.
Real quick, one thing as a high school coach I've seen over the years, and I've always wondered from a recruiting standpoint or evaluation standpoint, I know you guys talked earlier about measurables and kids come to camp, you kind of have a good idea. But for you guys, where is the cut line, I guess, the production over potential? When you're looking at a kid, you might have a kid that played at a smaller school who his production was through the roof, he's a competitor, he's got all the, he don't have the measurables maybe, but he's proved over and over again that like as a pitcher, he can get dudes out, I mean, legit. And then you got a kid maybe that, you know, he's got all the deal in the world, he can't command it, he don't really have the greatest competitive spirit maybe, but there's potential there. I mean, I guess, is there a hard cut line there, or is it just, I mean?
I think it's diving into the individual and having conversations with that kid, like what's he been doing? Especially if you're talking about the guy that's a little bit raw.
Right.
He throws hard, but he doesn't know where it's going. Like, what's he doing on a daily basis? Is there structure in what he's doing? Or can we create that structure once he gets to school and all of a sudden it becomes better? I think you see that a lot. I mean, like, we like bigger guys on the mound, I will tell you that. I mean, like, it used to be 6'2", but like having Fluky and Morrison last year, I mean, I like 6'6". but I know we're not going to get all 6'6" dudes. I mean, it's always a gamble. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get till they get there. I mean, whether it's the winner or the guy that you're projecting on, it's all projection until they get there and you see it every day.
Yeah, I guess for me, the frustration over the years is just seeing the kids, they'll recruit kids, a lot of college coaches will recruit kids, but they'll never see them in a competitive environment. And it blows my mind, like.
I can't say we do that. I mean, I know, like, if I see a guy, Ox is going to end up seeing him also. If he sees a guy, I'm going to go back and, like, we're going to have to be together. Like, two of us are going to have to say yes on a guy before we actually move.
And I think that's one thing that, in a good way for us, has changed with the limited numbers of guys that you bring in. Now, you know, the both of us, you know, and again, listen, there's times where, you know, you fly to Texas and you got to get, you know, you see this guy and we can't do it again. But the majority, I would say 90+% of what we do, like he or I both, like we both try to see him. And you know, and I think our relationship allows this, but a lot of the stuff that me and Matt do is I'll go see a guy and I won't tell him. I won't tell him anything. I'm like, I like him, you go see him. Right? So that he can come back and say, dude, you see him throw his glove? Or, dude, did you see his breaking ball? It wasn't good. Yeah, I saw it. I wanted to make sure you saw it. You know, because you guys know, like, your player knows that Coach Carolina's coming. He probably ain't going to be the same. He's going to act different. You know, he's going to act different. So we try to get in there multiple times to see if he can act different every time. You know?
Coach Oxendine, I just want to speak on behalf of everybody that I've been coming to these things for a long time. And you guys, y'all give us information that probably help us more than anybody. You're always willing to fill in, and y'all different. And from all the coaches, we appreciate y'all.
I appreciate you saying that. So thank you so much. Thank you guys. And good luck to all you guys this year. And I want to say, man, as a recruiting coordinator, I apologize. Like we try to reach out to every single one of you guys, and that's something that you know is a big goal of ours this year. Is and even if you don't have a player, like to try to create a better relationship with guys in our state, because I feel like you know we're finally at a point where man, if you're not thinking about Coastal, something's wrong with you. So, but I appreciate you guys' attention and being here and allowing us to, you know, fill in for those guys in the upstate for the last minute.
If you're not on our email list, send Ox or myself an email and we'll make sure you get emails.
Yeah. There's been a lot of, you know, there's always change, and, you know, we try to keep up with it on the website and things like that. But yeah, please, if you're new at a spot or haven't gotten a text or email from us, you know, please reach out via email so that we have your contact. But once again, appreciate you guys. Thank you.